Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this planet we all call home together. I'm going to kind of buzz through this. I have a call coming up in about 17 minutes, but today is March 5th, and it's about feeling defeated. So you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. Maya Angelou. I don't want to stay stuck in feeling defeated, but how do I get to the other side of it? I may have learned all about overcoming obstacles, but there are times I just want to throw in the frickin' towel. I can attest to that. Hey Michelle, defeat has me in its grips, and it doesn't seem to let go. I may hear many quotes about overcoming the odds and not staying in the pit of defeat, but has anyone ever shown me how to rise above it? The personal development world might tell me to put my big girl or big boy pants on and just do it, whatever that means. But I want to know how to feel good and not feel like I'm pushing myself to cross some imaginary finish line that was never mine to begin with. Good day, Michelle. It's always interesting how what you need to hear shows up. What if the how involves going into the feeling? Here we go. What if the how involves going into the feeling of defeat and exploring what's really beneath it? Tapping is a technique that it can allow you to do this, to do just this. I might need the support of a skilled practitioner, but whatever I choose, I can use the defeat to unpack what's intensifying this for me. This can open me up to what limits have me in their grasp. And as I explore and release the potent emotions attached to defeat, I can find liberation and freedom on the other side. I can find that I am now moving forward, whereas in the past I may have stopped myself. Growing into the emotions also opens me up to guidance and direction. Going into the emotions, could be either way, also opens me up to guidance and direction that can help me once I have found relief from all the heavy thundering of emotions that yank me around if they're not allowed and released. Thought for the day. What if today I can use tapping to help me find relief, if needed, around feeling defeated? Yeah. I've felt in the pit. It was the movie The Princess Bride, and the guy goes, "The pit of despair." Oh my God. I've been there. I mean, so many times. And I think what I have found in this work is what makes it more challenging is the resistance to it. Like, I don't want to feel defeated. Instead of going into the defeat, which it doesn't sound like an easy or fun thing to do at all, but this is the way that I look at it. We go into it, and it's probably the last time you're going to feel that depth of defeat. It's not to say you're not going to feel defeated again, but it's information. Yeah, you're feeling that right now, Michelle. So let's do some tapping. Oh, good. I've got plenty of time. But it doesn't mean you're never going to feel defeated. But the more we learn, that's why I love tapping, because this buildup of emotions that's been stuck in our nervous system from ad nauseum childhood, it starts to come up so that it can be released. A lot of times people can be very afraid of that because they're like, I don't want to feel those feelings again. So you might need to ease into it in a different way. But I have truly found nothing but liberation on the other side of really potent emotions. And I'll go back to my story. When my sister passed away, and then I found out my cat was missing, and then found out she, got taken by an owl. I was devastated. I mean, I was ready for my sister to go as much as anybody can be ready for that. But when it was like bam, bam, right on top of each other, and many of you know the story, I was on the plane, I was hyperventilating on the plane. I'm like, oh my God, if she doesn't come back, I'm not going to be okay. My kid was so running my show. And then when I tapped with my tapping person, it was so apparent I was going back into being 6 months old. And let me tell you, the potency of that emotion could have felt completely overwhelming. I mean, there were moments in it that I felt like, like I could throw up. It's that was that potent in my nervous system. But I know enough now to know that if I can get by that, if I can move, if I can go through that, it shifts for me. Hey, Nicole, it shifts. And what I was left with, I mean, I'm doing this intense tapping with, and I'm like that. And I stuck with it. And all of a sudden I felt, it's like the fever breaks. All of a sudden it broke, like the emotion broke. Was I still heartbroken? Yes, I went through a heartbreaking experience. So funny that my sister's picture came up in my memories today. She's saying hi. And my tattoo, never wanted a tattoo in my life. Went and got the tattoo, and on the day I got it, I just said, Mary, if I'm not supposed to get this, or if I am, give me a sign. The day I'm walking across the street to go to get the tattoo, and there's this wood picket fence around this house that all these tulips, and that was my sister's favorite thing to draw. And I'm like, oh my God, so she's like, yeah, do it. So we have no idea what can come as we learn to allow ourselves to go through the potency of emotion, because it feels so intense because it's been suppressed for so long. And then the more you go through it, the more it's like, oh, wow, as you release it, yeah, you still have the potency of emotion, but it's different. And I can speak to that with my grief, because I still was in grief, but I didn't have this overlayer of this oppressive, suppressed emotion. Then I was left with what I would call amazing, beautiful grief that I could allow myself to move through. I still feel it come up. My husband mentioned our cat Molly just the other day, and I just burst into tears in the car. See that picture of my sister, I'm like, oh my God. I kissed her picture, and hi, how are you? Here it is. So let's tap. And it can flow then. Karate chop. Even though I'm feeling pretty defeated right now, I bet that bully in my brain has a grip on me. It's filling my head with everything that's wrong with me. It always serves up a banquet table of the shit show. I choose to acknowledge this truth right now. Even though I've been feeling pretty defeated, what if the way through this is to feel it? And tapping can help me do that. Even though I've been feeling pretty defeated, and I feel that right now, who is running my show here? What voice am I listening to? I think it's the bully. I choose to honor my truth right now. Oh, here it goes. The total, utter shit show. The bully's telling me everything that's wrong with me. Everything that's not going to work out. It all sucks. And I suck too. And that voice is so powerful. Only because it has momentum. And what if the more I catch this in the act and tap through it, the more it starts to release? What is it saying to me? It's not a pretty picture. Everything that's wrong with me, everything that I'm doing that's bad. And what if when I catch it, I can interrupt it in whatever way works for me. Thanks a lot. Go away. Get out of my face. Leave me alone. And then over time, I learn how to identify and interrupt who's running my show. And the more I catch it and interrupt it, the less potent it feels. And then all of a sudden, the clouds seem to part. And I'm feeling less shitty about myself. And then a little better. And then a little better. And then even better. And before I know it, I catch my resting thought rate in a more optimistic, positive way. And that's the miracle of tapping. So take a breath. I've got 6 minutes. Good, plenty of time. So if that was helpful, go back and tap on it as many times as you need to. And to me, the key is, who is running my show? Who's talking? What am I being fed? What am I being told? And I think most of you know that have been, I have to tell mine to fuck off. I'm like, fuck off, get out of my freaking head. I often catch it, interesting, when I'm mountain biking. And I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, become aware of it. It's become more of a joke to me now. It doesn't mean that I don't get, reeled in by it. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, holy shit, there it is. But the more you just start to practice this, and again, oh, awesome. Michelle, that means you're releasing a lot. That's really good. The crying is a really, really, really good sign. So that's awesome. It's just bringing up old stuff. And the more you do it, it's like, it's a jackass. And I love that Dan Harris that put the 10% Happier app together. And he goes, God, when I started paying attention to the voice in my head, it's an asshole. And I'm an asshole to myself. And that's why recognizing that and separating from it is huge. It's like, oh, who's running my show? Does the kid, that have a grip on me? And then the child needs to be soothed. The child needs to be loved. The child needs to be attended to. The bully needs to be put in its place. And I truly believe that. And I will tell you, I just know from experience, for me, it works to catch it and go, oh. And I'll be like, oh, I'm on to you. I literally talk to that I'm on to you. I know what you're trying to do here. Get the hell out of here. And you get to ask it to go. So anyway, Michelle, I'm glad. That is really good. Seems like that was perfect timing for you, Nicole. Great to see you. I can tell some other people are here. I just can't tell who you are. So hello to you all. Have a great rest of your day or evening or morning or whatever. And we'll see you tomorrow, March 5th. All right. Bye for now.